Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the City of Boynton Beach City Commission meeting. Today is Tuesday, May 6, 2025, and the time is 6 p.m. We will now turn to the city clerk for roll call.
Mayor Shelton,
Present.
Vice Mayor Hay,
Present.
Commissioner Cruz,
Here.
Commissioner Turkin is absent, Commissioner Kelly.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Maylee. Pastor Roberts from Calvary Chapel, Boynton Beach, will lead our invocation tonight, and then Commissioner Kelly will lead with the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's all stand for the invocation and the pledge, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's all bow our heads. Father, we thank you for the ability to see another day. And as we enter into very important discussions and opportunities to look at our city, our wonderful city of Boynton Beach, and to make decisions, I pray for the mayor, all of the city councils, all of the speakers, all of the things that are on the agenda. And I pray for just great stewardship. I pray for unity around the things that we discuss. And I pray for your wisdom, not just for now, but where you're taking this great city in the future. And we pray all of this in your name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. We're now moving on to the agenda approval, additions, deletions, and corrections. Let's begin to my left with Commissioner Kelly. Do you have any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda?
Thank you, Mayor. I do not at this time. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Hay?
I do not.
Commissioner Cruz?
I do not.
Great.
Mayor, I got a couple.
Oh, okay.
So Commissioner Turkin is currently absent. He's dealing with a family emergency. So those items that are actually some of the items that he brought up, specifically, I want to table item 5C.
I'm sorry, Dan, also 5A relating to the TPA.
Okay, item 5A.
Okay.
Item 8A.
And 5C, right?
Yes,
So
correct.
5A, 5C, okay.
Item 8A, which is a second reading. Item 8B, which is also a second reading. Item 10F, which is an update on the bonds, and I know, Mayor, that's one of the items you also wanted to hear as well. And we also added item 7E. I want to make sure you guys all have item 7E on your agenda.
Sorry.
I want to make sure they have the
Mayor, it'll
updated
be on this
agenda.
agenda.
Yes.
Mayor,
7.
this one?
Oh,
Not on
the
that
one
one.
you just gave me?
Yeah, the other one, sorry.
Okay. E. Is that what it was?
Yes.
Okay.
Can we just make one motion to table all of those one time?
If that is the consensus of the board, we can certainly do that. If you'd like to go forward with the ordinances or any of them, we can do that as well. But, you know, he did ask for those items, so.
I'll go
would
ahead and make a motion to amend the agenda as the city manager requested.
Okay.
Second.
For the record, the motion will be a motion to table until next meeting. Item 5A, his appointment for 5C, not all of 5C, 8A, 8B, and also there is one other item, 10.
F. as well.
I'm sorry, Dan, can you read those again?
An F.
Yeah, it's 10F. Commissioner Cruz is correct.
Okay, thank you.
And that's the update on the bonds, and I believe it was the
sign bond.
Yeah, the sign bond.
Yeah.
And there was a motion and a second.
Yes.
Mayor?
Okay, so all those
Mayor, will
in
you
favor of approving the agenda as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say nay. The motion passes unanimously. Okay. We will now move on to informational items by the members of the City Commission. Let's begin to my right, Commissioner Cruz.
I'm so sorry, I missed it. I was reading, what was the question?
Any informational items?
I do not have any for my,
Vice
oh,
Mayor.
actually, wait, I I did participate in the Hispanic American Chamber of Commerce Women's Symposium or Forum. And that's all I can remember right now. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Hay?
Yeah, I did come out to the first Friday. It was great attendance. I did also visit the ICHS, which is the Nurses College down on Congress Avenue. It's a great facility, and I look to see see others of the commission pay that a visit. It's worthwhile seeing. We can utilize that facility to our benefit, and we'll be talking with the mayor and the deputy city manager about that. That's it.
Great. I'd just like to say that I really want to commend the staff for doing such a great job at Taste of Boynton. I thought that was such a fantastic event, so
Yeah.
hats off to everyone that did put so much hard work into that. Commissioner Kelly?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I also just wanted to commend not only our event staff, but really all of the staff in the city who, put in all of their effort from Public Works to, to events, to marketing, there was staff from every department here at the city. So also some of us attended Travis Hunter's draft party. So it was we had a very busy events week. And so, hats off to the events team who was able to pull off a bunch of different things. But I know his family is super excited to see how he, how he does in Jacksonville. It'll be good fun to watch that. So, so it's been a busy month since the last time we were here. So, so thank you to everyone, and look forward to a good meeting. Thank you.
Great. So moving on, the following item is a proclamation for mental health awareness and trauma. Informed Care Month. Gerda Klein from the Boynton Beach Mental Health Committee will be receiving the proclamation, and Vice Mayor Hay will be reading the proclamation.
If I could have all of the mental health committee come and stand, because we'll be taking pictures right after the reading. Thank you. City of Boynton Beach Proclamation. Whereas mental health is essential to everyone's overall health and well-being, and everyone experiences times of stress and struggles in their lives. And 1 in 4 adults and 1 in 5 youth ages 13 through 18 experiences serious mental illness. 60% of adults and 50% of youth do not receive the treatment necessary for their mental health needs due to limited or no knowledge of the need, barriers to care, or fear and shame. And whereas research recognizes that adverse childhood experiences, ACEs, are traumatic experiences that can have a profound effect on a child's developing brain and body, and can result in poor physical and mental health during childhood and adulthood. And whereas promoting mental health and wellness leads to higher overall productivity, better education outcomes, lower crime rates, stronger economics, lower health care costs, improved family life, improved quality of life, and increased lifespan. And whereas the City of Boynton Beach recognizes the work of Boynton Beach Mental Health Committee impacting awareness and education, access to services, and acceptance of the importance of mental health and well-being to a person's overall success, and supports the implementation of trauma-informed approaches throughout the system of care. Now here, therefore, I, Woodrow Hay, Vice Mayor, along with Rebecca Shelton, Mayor of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, do hereby proclaim the month of May of 2025 as Mental Health Awareness and Trauma Informed Month. in witness whereof, I have herefore set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Boynton Beach, Florida, to affix at Boynton Beach, Florida, the 6th day of May, 2025. Everybody do a big shift, a group shift. Shift this way. Get in the center so we can get all these beautiful faces back here.
Okay. Let's do it. Give me a call.
We have a couple cameras here. Okay, and 1, 2, 3. One more. Ready, 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
See.
All right. Let me just get this down. Thank you, Commissioner Hay and Mayor Shelton, for this proclamation. For many years, I've given the response to this proclamation and through the community's voice. And I'm pleased this evening to introduce Kenya Madison. She and I, she is the Senior Director of Healthier Delray Beach. And this year, she and I are working very hard together to bring our two communities together and to emphasize the importance of Get Your Green On. And of course, we're talking about doing this 365 days a year, but you know, that's pretty ambitious right now. But yeah, more than 1 month anyway is going to be good. So she has a message for us, and I'd like to introduce her and let her greet you and tell you what's on her mind.
Okay, Kenya.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mayor Shelton, Vice Mayor Hay, esteemed commissioners and city leadership. I just want to say thank you for this opportunity and kind of introduce myself a little bit. I am neighbor just to the south, but I'm actually have a home here in Boynton Beach. Thank you to Pathways to Prosperity. And we're very grateful for this opportunity. I do have some words prepared, but I'm just gonna put that to the side because we also have a teen proclamation that, you have the paper in your hand? What'd you do with it? I put it down. There are copies on the back table, but the Palm Beach County Behavioral Health Coalition, their Teens in Action youth group, have created also a youth proclamation that accompanies the mental health awareness one for Get Your Green On. And this is created by teens. I won't read the whole thing, but I want to just share that there are still the voices of youth that are amplified through this campaign. The mental health awareness movement that is Get Your Green On began with students at Atlantic High School, Village Academy, Carver, and Delray Beach. And so we continue to keep youth voices at the center of it all. And I also want to give a special thank you to Palm Tran, as we have a Get Your Green On bus branded this year that will be on the road for a full year. So I've already seen it moving all around Boynton Beach, and I want you guys to keep your eyes on the road for it. Keep your eyes out for it on the road because that bus carries resources. That bus is carrying tools that will transport families to their resiliency rest stops. So thank you again for this opportunity. We are really appreciative of the proclamation and the recognition for the teams as well.
Excellent. Outstanding. Thank you. Thank you.
The next proclamation is for National Police Week and Peace Officers Memorial Day. Chief DeJulio will be receiving the proclamation. I will be reading it. Whereas the Congress and President of the United States have designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which it falls as National Police Week. And whereas the members of the Boynton Beach Police Department play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedom of the citizens of Boynton Beach. And whereas it's important that all citizens know and understand the problems, duties, and responsibilities of their police department, and that matters of our police department recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence and disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression and intimidation. Whereas the Boynton Beach Police Department has grown to be a modern and scientific law enforcement agency with unceasingly provides public service. Now therefore, I, Rebecca Shelton, Mayor of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, do hereby proclaim, call upon all citizens of Boynton Beach and upon all patriotic, civil, and educational organizations to observe the week of May 11th through May 17th as National Police Week. I further call upon all citizens of Boynton Beach to remember this day, Thursday, May 15th, 2025, as Peace Officers Memorial Day, in honor of those peace officers who, through their courageous deeds, have lost their lives or become disabled in the performance of duty.
Just want to express my appreciation for the commission, always supportive of the Boynton Beach Police Department. I want to thank our community for supporting us as well, our city manager office, and as well as the city leadership. This is a team effort, and I appreciate that during this week that you all are by our sides when we recognize those officers who don't get the chance to go home. So thank you.
Next, we will have the presentation by Ms. Martin of the Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics. Welcome.
Hi, good evening. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, community members. I'm Liz Martin with Palm Beach County's Commission on Ethics, and I'm here to talk about the commission and our goal to enhance the public's trust in government, and with that, build a culture of ethics throughout Palm Beach County. In 2010, which is about 15 years ago, so this is our 15th anniversary this month, and we have a number of celebratory events, but in 2010, there was a number of concerns in the county, ethical issues that led to criminal charges, and that's why we were created. We provide oversight, transparency, and accountability for more than 10,000 elected officials, public employees, and advisory board members in the county. We service 39 municipalities, many of which sign up for this service. That just means we administer and enforce the county's ethics laws using the principles of fairness, clarity, and common sense. We also support a culture of ethics within county government and encourage participation. We value honesty, integrity, and character. And our commission is independent of any county or municipality. We're governed by our group of 5 commissioners that are appointed by different groups within the county. That is the Hispanic Bar Association in conjunction with that F. Malcolm Cunningham Senior Bar Association and the Palm Beach County Bar Association. The Palm Beach County Association Chiefs of Police, the Association of Certified Fraud Investigators, Florida Atlantic University's Ethics Professor, and the League of Cities. As you are aware, again, county government, every municipality is subject to our ordinance, and again, there's 39 to date. The Code of Ethics is a 12-page document that creates a backstop to ensure public's trust and employees conduct themselves independently and impartially, and that they don't use their public office for private gain, and they should also disclose voting conflicts. Most often, though, you hear about gifts and gift reporting. The very key to a very successful program is education and prevention, which is why I'm here this evening. And my goal is to educate the public on who we are and what we do. And in addition, I take care of the outreach and social media. So you will be seeing a lot of that in the coming weeks with our anniversary, as well as we're going to have a bus wrapped as well. Ongoing training, advisory opinions, and the establishment of culture of ethics is our goal. And you can reach us at Palm Beach County. Ethics.com, and our number is 355-1915. You can also follow us on PBC COE. Again, our staff is available to train, to answer questions, to do advisory opinions. We have more than 560 to date. And advisory opinions are just where you call and ask the questions in advance, and we will say, ask first, act later. Again, we can only do our job well with the public's support, so in doing so, please remember your solemn duty to consider the ethics of your actions so we can all live in a community that values ethics.
Thank you very much. We are moving on to the public's audience portion of the meeting. As always, it is 3 minutes per person. It is not transferable. The same rules always apply. The speaker must address the commission as a whole, not to any individual on the dais or in the audience. Insults, personal attacks, or disruptions are not permitted, and you may be asked to leave the meeting should you violate these rules. After we have concluded in-person comments, we will move to the online comments. We have 2 podiums, if people would like to line up.
Good evening. My name is Alan Bornstein. I want to thank all of you for what you do.
Hey, I'm sorry, I apologize. We need to set the timer.
Oh, I'm going to be a minute. Trust me. It's all good. I want to thank all of you for all that you do. Everybody knows that your dedication and loyalty to this city has nothing to do with your paycheck. And just remember this, no good deed goes unpunished. So I'm so sorry for anything you're about to do, but I want to thank the mayor. I want to thank Mr. Mack. I know I'm not supposed to call anybody out, but this is in advance for the assistance you're providing us in trying to keep the Boynton Beach Men's Tennis League alive. We appreciate all that you've been doing, and we wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Good afternoon. Mike McCray, Mayor, Vice Mayor, elected officials. I have a concern. The concern is I appreciate the advertisement that you all do with what's happening here in Boynton. Okay, but coming off of I-95, when you all have an event, you leave your signs up, your 2x4s. They're not painted. They're an eyesore for people that's coming to Boynton. It look like somebody had a campaign and forgot to take their signs down. So if you're gonna leave your signs up, I know it's a cost savings, at least make sure you paint them or do something to help keep Boynton beautiful. This is our city. We look at it daily. One other thing I'd like to say, I recognize that we have a lot of construction going on here in Boynton. Tell your construction engineers and workers, please keep nails where they're supposed to be, not on the road. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Good evening, Ramona Young. And Ray Whiteley sent an email regarding access to the computer system, which is very cumbersome, very bulky. I tried one time to get on. What you have to do is sign on to YouTube or what have you. And then if you want to take part in the public meeting, you have to sign on someplace else. This doesn't make any sense in my head. And because I'm not grown up with a computer, I'm probably a lot slower than a lot of other people. Besides, I have some time on me that the rest of you may not have on you. So it was my understanding that Mayor Shelton, you were going to speak with Angela, or someone was going to speak with Angela, but I haven't heard anything. And I'm hoping that I can hear something now, more positive, more user-friendly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How you doing? David Katz, Boynton Beach. In August of 1993, 32 years ago, when I was on the commission, there was an attempt to pass the Human Rights Ordinance. On first reading, it passed 4-1. On second reading, it failed 3-2. Myself and a former commissioner, Bobby Walshak, who has since completed what we call the Circle of Life, supported it. Running up to that meeting, we didn't have cell phones back then. We had an answering machine and snail mail. And the messages that I got from the people who did not like the ordinance, I would not like to go into. Matter of fact, going to that meeting that night, I had a police escort from my house, and we parked in the on the west side of the building, the old city hall, and walked in, walked out. Lasted till 2 a.m. So talking about that, and also because of that, back in 1993, I received this plaque from the Human Rights Council, an appreciation for your courage in the fight for human rights. So because of what I just said, I think I come from a unique position to be able to talk about what I call the painted intersection on Ocean Avenue, and how I can't be accused of being anti-human rights. It's my opinion that the painted intersection isn't about inclusion, it's about division. It's about telling everybody that we're different, they're different, everybody is different. What I'm suggesting is that the painted intersection be removed and replaced with the logo of the city of Boynton Beach, which represents us all. There isn't just one community in this city that should be elevated to a special status. In a city of over 80,000, there's an arm's length of communities of interest. The painted intersection, for what it represents, was promulgated and pushed forward as a personal agenda by the former mayor and the Human Rights Council. It's interesting that the one in Delray that was done prior to the one here in Boynton was paid for by the Human Rights Council and a second organization. Then they came to Boynton Beach with the help of the former mayor. The taxpayers of our city paid for it, not just once, but 3 times to repaint it to the tune of over $50,000. Again, what I'm suggesting is that the painted intersection, as it is right now, be completely removed and changed to the City of Boynton Beach logo, because we shouldn't be a hyphenated city. We should be a city of one, of all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Excuse me. My name's Kathy, and I'm coming forward today to, number one, apologize. I came here a few months ago, and I'm learning how this city works, and I learned a lot of information in that meeting, and I feel that maybe I spoke a little too soon, not knowing all the information. I voiced my concerns about the direction of the city with some of these big projects and the TIF money and all that kind of stuff, and about the Villages project on the north, a piece of land, and I didn't realize that the north and the south was separate ownership. So I want to apologize for that. And then I wanted to say, Rebecca, congratulations.
Thank you.
And I must say that, I mean, I watch these meetings at home. I don't always come here. I am truly impressed at the way that you have hit the ground running and done, I think, a fantastic job picking up and going. And I fully understand that there's a lot going on in this city. It's a big job. You know, there's a lot of moving parts. And I really don't know what the protocol is in terms of questions that I have. I'd really like to understand a little bit more about what the process is with the development and, you know, what the residents want and what's permissible. And I don't even know what happened with the CRA. Hopefully that's going to continue. I did go to the Rock the Plaza event. It was wonderful. You know, the samples and everything. It was a great event to, you know, highlight the businesses. And I also wanted to commend the city staff. I've had some interactions with various people. This one here, Mei Lee. I'm Kathy, and I spoke to you about the banners. And I've had interactions with the Carolyn Sims Park and the Pathways to Prosperity. I went to that community meeting, and I've talked to people in utilities. On personal matters, I've talked to a number of city staff, and every single one I feel was very professional, very helpful, very friendly. So I just, you guys get beat up a lot here, and I just wanted to let you know that some of us do recognize, you have a full plate.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you very much. Next, please.
Good evening. My name is Barbara Riddy. I just wanted to bring up a couple of concerns I had on the consent agenda. In the first place, there's an awful lot of things on the consent agenda that are going to get passed through without any discussion. And I'm a little bit concerned about the lack of transparency on some of them. The one that caught my eye immediately was the public art master plan. We're hiring someone to do something that we already have. We already have a master plan for the art. And I know that later on in the agenda is the second reading of that ordinance, and I believe we'll be given a chance to speak to that ordinance at that time. But I think we're getting the cart before the horse by doing all of the changes recommended for the arts program before this person coming in to do the master plan has a chance to take a look at everything. That was the first thing I wanted to mention. The other thing is about the comprehensive plan. I think it's a great idea that we're going to be integrating the comprehensive plan with some kind of a strategic plan. That would be a good idea. I'm a little bit concerned about the company that you're looking at hiring, though, because the terminology that they utilized in their letter of interest, urban streetscape planning and potential redevelopment scenarios, as far as going block by block south down Seacrest and gobbling up and all of the single-family homes of Forest Park. I think the Forest Park people would be a little bit concerned about such a plan. I know that's just their big, they were trying to get the job, so that was a big scenario that they painted. But I truly hope that's not the path that our city's taking. We have plenty of development in the pipes, and I think maybe we need to check and see how far that development's going to take us. Oh, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone online?
Yes. Yes. Online, we have Susan Oyer. If IT could please unmute her, and she can start when she is ready. Ms. Oyer?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yay.
All aboard.
Hello, this very, very late evening from France. I wasn't expecting to have to stay up after midnight for this while I'm on vacation. Obviously, this is important to me. Hopefully, you all actually took a look at the email I sent you today and all the backup information I sent. I know it was a lot, but it took several hours for me to write it last weekend or 2 weekends ago and today. So I hope you appreciate the time I put into this to give you the background on the arts program. Obviously, I'm against the arts ordinance because what we have currently is perfectly fine for what it is you're looking to do in our city. You don't need to change the ordinance. You don't need to take power away from your city boards. This is the whole purpose of the boards is to take the load off you, and your new ordinance will add to your workflow by having you do additional research and do additional work to look at projects before they even go to the arts board, which I can't even fathom why that is even how this is being set up. I also look at this as it's just a way to steal money out of the arts fund to rob Peter to pay Paul, when you could easily enact another ordinance for a beautification, which obviously I'm like the most pro beautification person in the city because I'm the one who's been harping on it for years. But if you want a beautification program, put in an ordinance to create an impact fee to make it happen. Don't steal from our fabulous arts ordinance and our arts fund to do this. a lot of the projects that you are being told that will be covered under the new arts ordinance are already available to you through the current ordinance. So please, make sure you're looking at what the current ordinance says. An attorney has apparently looked at the current ordinance and shows that it's even available for us to use to help save the Andrews House and restore it and get it moved. So please look at what you already have in effect that has worked so well for 20 plus years and not change what's already working, and it is appropriate under the National Public Arts Program. And I'll stop there because hopefully you took the time to read it and you saw all my information. I included past projects just from the time period I was on the board, as well as a little bit of the history and then justifications to leave
15
things the way they are. So please vote against the new arts ordinance. And I want to end with saying, please fix the mayor pictures on the wall. What you have done to my father's picture and everyone else's is distortion and wrong. And
Thank
please
you.
put the old pictures back because you make the old mayors look bad. Thank you for your
Susan.
time.
Anyone else online? No?
I will double check, but no.
Okay, moving on to community support funds. What?
Just close it. Close public comment. Just say you're closing it.
We're closing public comment at this time. So moving on to community support funds, I have a request in for $1,000 in community support funds to AVDA organization, which is the Aid to Victims of Domestic Abuse. May we have a motion to approve
Motion to
this?
approve?
Second.
Excellent. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The motion passes unanimously. Okay, moving on to the administrative portion of the agenda, we have two boards. We tabled one of them though, right? So we only have one
Tabled
board,
5A.
yeah. One board with application. First up is the Building Board of Adjustment and Appeals. There are 5 regular positions and 2 alternate positions. And we have one applicant who would like to be an alternate. The nomination does go to me, so I'm moving to approve Dwight Torres as an alternate member of the Building Board of Adjustment and Appeals.
Second.
Okay. The motion was made by me and seconded by Commissioner Kelly. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Okay. We'll now be moving on to the consent agenda. If my colleagues want to pull any items from consent, let's begin with, to my left, Commissioner Kelly.
Mayor, I do not have anything to pull. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Hay.
I don't have any.
Commissioner Cruz.
Not for me.
Good. If there are no changes, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Motion to
Okay,
approve
we
the
are-
consent agenda.
We are on
Second.
fire today. Good. All those opposed, all those in favor say aye.
Second the motion.
Okay. All those, so we had what? Who?
Vice Mayor Hay
made the first motion.
Made the motion, I made the second.
Second.
And
Okay.
Yep.
All those in favor of approving the consent agenda say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. The motion passes unanimously. Moving on. Okay. Moving on to 7.
Yep.
Consent bids and purchases over 100,000. We will now move on to consent bids and purchases over 100,000. If my colleagues would like to pull any items, let's begin to my left. Commissioner Kelly.
Yes, Mayor, I would like to pull 7E, please.
7. Did you say 7D?
E, the new one. Oh, it was added.
That was the one that was added.
That's added on the other.
You got 3 different agendas up here.
We're good, no worries.
Okay.
I can speak to that item when we get there.
Okay.
Okay, 7E, moving, okay. Let me move that one. All right. Vice Mayor Hay, would you like to pull anything?
No.
Commissioner Cruz? Okay.
Motion to approve consent bids and purchases over 100,000. As amended.
Second.
Second. Motion was made by Commissioner Kelly, second by Commissioner Cruz. All those approving the agenda as amended, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. The motion passes unanimously. And we're moving on to E.
No, yes, 7E. Mhm.
Did you have any specific questions, or would you like to discuss the item generally?
No, just generally it was added, and I wanted to make sure if there was something changed from agenda review
Yes.
that we discussed it.
This was actually scheduled for June. However, we terminated our prior agreement. It expired with our prior broker. And because that terminated, we don't currently have a broker. So we needed to put this on right away. And this is a piggyback from the town of Jupiter, which gives us a broker for a period of time. There is 1 2-year renewal left that we could continue to stay in with regard to that. And so we're just requesting that we approve that piggyback agreement so that we can have a broker, and that's something that we need right away.
Thank you, Shauna. Yeah, that was my only, I just wanted to clarify, since it was added tonight that, or earlier today that we discussed it. So it is our plan to do, with the piggyback I see that this one expires in September of this year, and then it is our plan to then renew it for, it says a 1 or 2 year period. Is it our
It's my
plan?
understanding they have 1 2-year renewal available to the town of Jupiter. We can only continue it if they renew it. However, they have not gone out to bid for anything new, so we fully anticipate them renewing or extending that agreement, that original agreement.
Okay. The cover just is, then misspeaks, because the way it's worded is.
Yeah, there may be a mistake on it.
Okay, that's fine. All right, thank you. That's my only.
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion approved by Commissioner Cruz, a second by Commissioner Kelly. All those in favor of approving
A 7E.
7E, say aye.
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 All those opposed, say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Okay. And there's still time, yeah.
We tabled all of 8.
Yep, 8. Let's see. Okay, now there is no city manager's report. We're moving on to the regular agenda. 10A is the first reading of ordinance 25-005. Let's turn to the city clerk to read the ordinance title into the record. Can we please have staff begin the presentation?
Proposed ordinance number 25-005, first reading, an ordinance of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, repealing and replacing Part 2, Chapter 18, Article 2, Division 5, Section 18-145, City of Boynton Beach Investment Policy for General Employees Pension Fund to enable the pension plan trustees to adopt and modify a City of Boynton Beach investment policy for the General Employees Pension Fund, providing for codification, providing for severability of provisions, repealing all ordinances and resolutions in conflict herewith, and providing for an effective date.
Okay. This came to us from the Pension Board Council. There was a provision in the current ordinance that restricted the way they could invest. So these great investment opportunities would come up. However, they were not able to easily pivot into some of those opportunities because we were locked in to a specific policy plan. And so what they want to do is make this more fluid, and rather than having an investment policy that's in the ordinance, they will create an investment policy that more readily attracts the current market. So they can make those changes as necessary. And of course, the policy will be governed by the actual trustees and board members on there. And that's what this does.
Any questions from the commission?
Motion to approve? Or is that a roll call?
It will be, yeah, it will be a roll call
Yeah,
vote.
that roll
Okay.
call.
Second.
Okay, the motion was made by Vice Mayor Hay, seconded by Commissioner Kelly. Let's
Well,
turn
don't
to
be
this. Let's turn to the city for a roll call.
Right.
Yeah.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hay?
Yes.
Mayor Shelton?
Yes,
In a roll call vote, the motion passed unanimously.
thank you. Moving on to 10B is the first reading of ordinance 25-006. Let's turn to the city clerk to read the ordinance title into the record.
Proposed ordinance number 25-006, first reading, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, amending Part 2, Chapter 27, Article 1, Section 27-2, Board of Committee Member Selection, Organization, Qualifications, Term, establishing limited authority to waive certain appointment requirements, providing for codification, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
Can we please have staff begin the presentation?
That will be me as well. So with regard to this was, I believe, at the direction of Commissioner Kelly with regard to being able to waive certain requirements regarding qualifications, term for the board. We are having a little bit difficulty always getting people who are willing to volunteer for these boards. So this allows us to extend it any term, as well as certain qualified positions. We can waive certain qualifications. And that's what this ordinance does.
Mayor, this was a Commissioner Turkin driven agenda item, so I know it's first reading, but I just wanted to make sure that, if we, that it's first reading and that he's aware of the status of this as we move forward. Since
So
he's not here.
I will tell you, I have not spoken to him directly about this particular ordinance, but we would be bringing it back May 20th. And if for some reason he is not here, we could always table it at that time.
Very good, thank you.
Does anyone have any questions about the ordinance?
Yes, just a quick question. Is it possible to provide preference to people who've already been serving on boards and have experience to potentially add that to the ordinance?
Essentially add that sort of language so that whoever the commission is knows that that's the desire of this commission, to give preference to people who've already been serving on the boards?
But the purpose of the waiver is to allow people who are on the board to extend to another term. So they would be current members on a board already, and so they want to extend. That's my understanding, is that this is to waive the term limit so that in a situation where we have somebody who is on a board for a length of time, and they're a city resident, they want to continue to serve, that they can request a waiver from the city commission to then continue to serve on that board.
That is correct. You could possibly see it with an applicant who, let's say, the Art Advisory Board, or maybe who doesn't have a lot of experience with art, or on the historic preservation. Those sorts of things, you could see a new person maybe doesn't quite meet the qualifications and is seeking a waiver to serve on the board. So you could see it in both situations. But yes, initially the intention was to allow people already on a board to sit longer.
So, Shauna, you see this as the objective is to increase the vacancies, not increase the vacancy, but fill the vacancies that we have on our boards?
Yes, I think you have a lot of qualified people who would stay in those positions longer if we were able to extend the terms.
So, I guess just to close it up, I would say, make a motion to add potentially a line under qualifications to say, when possible, to provide, the city commission would like to provide preference to experienced individuals who've been serving on the board that are, termed out, to have that opportunity.
If there has to be a consensus among the board to add the language. And if it, I know we don't have specific language, I can certainly, trying to pull it up, excuse me. My computer's yelling at me. Do you want me to try to come up with language right now, or would you like me to just draft some language in there that I think would cover the board's, Commissioner Cruz's suggestion?
I think it's better to draft something.
And maybe have more discussion, because I just don't, it says under qualifications, members and alternate members serving on advisory boards and committees shall possess, with knowledge, experience, can ask to get this waiver. So I'm just not sure what additional language would need to be added. I guess I just don't, we can talk about it offline, but I don't.
Because as for me, it's a little
Right.
vague right now. I want to be more specific.
Me too.
As to what we're waivering.
Okay.
And, you know,
Yeah, so let me just address that real quick, if I can. I can certainly add language with regard to preferences. It does stay here. There's several types of waivers that you can do. You could do a waiver as to a person's qualifications, right? And those are for those technical positions that need qualifications. You can also do a waiver as to the term limits. And you can also waive the residency requirements. For example, where that might be appropriate is if you have a long-time business owner who, has substantial contacts in the city, has a business in the city, but maybe doesn't live in the city, you could waive the residency requirement. And then also the waiver, with regard to the term, it specifically says an individual who has served 2 successive terms as an alternate member may be eligible to serve up to 2 additional successive terms as a regular member of the same advisory board or committee upon approval of the city commission. And also, it does say, upon completion of the maximum allowable 2 full terms of membership, no member, blah, 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 can serve for reappointment for 1 year. And then we just added the language, unless otherwise waived by the city commission. So it does speak to the different specific types of waivers you can provide.
so am I hearing you say that if a person has reached their limit on a board and there's no other applicants, we can use that to extend their
Correct.
term?
It does require that individual to request the extension.
Or the individual?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe they don't know to request that. Could we suggest to them that?
We certainly can, but yes, the
Okay.
request should come from the actual board member. We don't want to just extend it automatically.
Right,
In case
right.
maybe they're done, but yeah, at their request. It would come before the commission at a meeting and you make the decision whether or not to provide the waiver or not.
Okay.
So I can add language. I think it would be appropriate to add language because there's so many different places that we talk about waiver. I think we can come up language in G 2 and 3, or 1, 2, and 3 that also just basically says preference will be given to those. But I think because G under term limits is specific, and those are going to be only situations where they have already been on a board under term limits.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions?
Shauna, I'll talk to you about, because this is a conversation that I've also had with the clerk, and this was, this kind of started as a revision of the whole ordinance at my direction to kind of clear up some things. And so now I feel like we're going down and really kind of changing what the purpose was. I get the purpose of the waiver, but at the same time, I feel it needs to be for a specific purpose. And because my point at the last meeting was, if we just offer waivers, then why even have, so I don't want to get into it where we've now given all of these different examples and all of these different categories of how you can get a waiver and what qualifies you. And if you may have owned a business, but you sold your house in the city, and should you really still be on an advisory board where you're making decisions about, our historic preservation or arts board or things like that. So I also don't want to make it then where we are then having to make decisions when I just want to have more conversations about this, because I feel like we're really going down to changing something that we had spoken ad nauseum about when we previously adjusted the ordinance before.
So if it's okay, because I see some of you looking as though you want to make specific changes to this, specifically Commissioner Kelly, but I also see Mayor Shelton shaking her head. Why don't we table this?
I agree.
Motion to table 10B.
Second.
Great, so we have a motion to table 10B on the, motion made by Commissioner Kelly, second by Vice Mayor Hay. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Were you supposed to do the roll call on that? Okay, we're good. All right. Okay.
Bless you.
All right, so 10C is the first reading of 25007. Let's turn to the city clerk to read the ordinance title into the record.
Ordinance number 25-007, first reading, an ordinance of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, repealing Article 13, Section 15-134 through 15-137 of Chapter 15 and any amendments thereafter which establish and revise the prohibition of conversion therapy on minors in the City of Boynton Beach, providing for conflict, severability, and an effective date.
Okay, so with regard to this item, the federal circuit that is over Florida, which is the 11th Circuit, a few years ago indicated that this type of regulation violates a person's First Amendment rights and therefore deemed them to be unconstitutional. Now, there is a conflict with some of the other circuits in, say, California and other areas where they say this is appropriate, but the Supreme Court has not ruled. So at this time, the 11th Circuit is the governing circuit. So under that theory of the cases, it's not something that we can have an ordinance on. So we're seeking to repeal it at this time.
Any comments or questions from the commission? Okay, if there is nothing else, may we have a motion to approve proposed ordinance number 25-007 on the first reading?
So moved.
Second.
Great. Motion was made by Commissioner Kelly and seconded by Vice Mayor Hay.
Commissioner Cruz.
Oh, sorry, Commissioner Cruz, my bad. Let's turn to the city clerk for the roll call.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hay?
Yes.
Mayor Shelton?
Yes.
In a roll call vote, the motion passed unanimously.
Thank you. Okay, 10D is the first reading of ordinance 25-008. Let's turn to the city clerk to read the ordinance title into record, please.
Proposed ordinance number 25-008, first reading, an ordinance of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, repealing Chapter 2, Article 1, Section 2-19 of the City Code of Ordinances, entitled Drug-Free Workplace, renaming Chapter 2, Article 10 to be entitled Employee Handbook, renaming the amending Section 2-151 entitled Personnel Policy Manual adopted by reference to rename the section Employee Handbook and Drug-Free Workplace adopted by reference, providing for conflict, severability, codification, and an effective date.
Again, you're on deck.
Yes, so this, there was an ordinance previously that changed the personal policy manual adopted by reference to employee handbook, but due to an error, that was never actually codified. And so what we're looking to do is to clean up this ordinance so that the employee handbook is actually by reference what we actually call it. That's the first thing we're doing. The other thing we're doing is we're repealing the drug-free workplace ordinance. It is very long, and it's actually legally incorrect. It cites the wrong statute. And again, whenever you are adopting an ordinance that cites a statute or a code, if they repeal that, then your ordinance or code is no longer valid. So we are seeking to repeal the entire ordinance and make that a policy, because policies are easier to make changes. And so we are putting that into one ordinance, and essentially what that ordinance says is the city commission adopts the employee handbook by reference and also the drug-free workplace. And it allows us to do that, and it just kind of cleans up. And that's something the deputy city attorney and I are doing, is trying to clean up things as we find them.
Any comments or questions from the commission? Nope. Okay.
Motion to approve proposed ordinance 25-008.
Second.
The motion was made by Commissioner Kelly and seconded by Vice Mayor Hay. If we can turn to the clerk for the roll call.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hay?
Yes.
Mayor Shelton?
Yes.
In a roll call vote, the motion passed unanimously.
Great. The next item on the regular agenda is the CIP quarterly project update. Can staff please come up and do your presentation?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Rick Hoffer, Assistant Director of Public Works. This is a Public Works second quarter fiscal year 24-25 CIP projects status update. The first project in this presentation is the Mission Hill Bridge repair project. Bridge approach slabs and abutments settled due to erosion and supportive soil. Foam injection method was used to stabilize and lift the bridge approaches and abutments. The top picture shows the injection process, and the bottom photo shows the finished project. Moving on to the Lake Boynton Estates paving project. This project is complete. Project included road paving, sidewalk, and ADA improvements. Going on to the J.C. Park Fishing Pier Repairs project. Project is also complete. Project consisted of structural repairs, including replacement of wood cross bracing. Shown here are also the before and after photos. I'm going to Intercoastal Park restroom epoxy floor project. It's complete. Bottom picture is of the completed floor. Going to the Meadows split rail fencing project. It's complete. Photos are of completed project and of benches and the gate, access gate. Moving on to the JC Playground removal project. It's also complete. Shown here is a before and after photo. Going to the Denson Pool Heaters project, it's complete. Bottom photo is of the 3 new installed pool heaters. Quantum Boulevard roundabout pavement project included road paving, sidewalk repairs, new crosswalks, photos of the completed project. Cultural Center auditorium project includes installation of audio, digital, video screens, stage lighting, curtain systems, public address system, window shades, acoustical treatments. Pre-construction meeting is next Thursday, and we're anticipating completing the project by the end of the year. Moving on to Southeast First Street project. Project involves construction of a shared use path, a sidewalk, roadway, and drainage. It's in the procurement construction stage, has a construction cost estimate of $5.4 million. Currently, we're awaiting a lab recertification letter from FDOT, and we're hopeful that we can start construction August of this year. Pioneer Park Boat Ramp is a reconfiguration of the existing boat ramps and docks. There includes resurfacing of the driveway and additional parking. It is in the procurement construction stage. It does have a fine grant in the amount of $819K. It is a $1 million estimated construction cost for the project, and anticipated to start construction is August 2025. Going on to Oyer Park Fire Department Boat, Dock, and Lift project. It involves installation of electric boat lifts for fire department and police department. There is a fine grant for this in amount of $109K. It is in the procurement construction stage. Actually, bid closing was on April 24th. And Seaside Marine Contractors was the apparent low bidder with a bid amount of $178K. Fire Station number 2 hardening project. Project scope includes 4 overhead roll-up garage doors and 4 four-fold doors. Strapping down of HVAC equipment is included in this project, as well as new exterior site lighting. It is in the design stage, construction cost of $550K. Also does have a FCOM grant in the amount of $572K. And start construction is anticipated August 2025. Did that not? Didn't work. Okay. Going to Southeast 36th Avenue, Gulfstream Boulevard, road rehab. Involves roadway, landscape lighting, and drainage improvements. It is a joint project with the city of Delray Beach. It does include a water main, also for future service to the town of Gulfstream. It is in the design stage with a construction cost of $3.2 million, and we anticipate construction to start in January of 2026. Moving on to the Sarah Sims Cemetery Expansion Project. This is to provide 1,000 new additional plots, including traffic circulation improvements. It's in the design stage with an anticipated construction start of June 2025 and anticipated construction completion of November 2025. Mangrove Park Boardwalk removal is removal of the Mangrove Park Boardwalk, and it's in the design stage. Construction cost of estimate of $750K and estimated construction completion date of February 2026. Harvey Oyer Jr. Park pier replacement is a replacement of the pier, including addition of a bench, actually a beach, and a kayak launch. It's in the design phase with concept design completion anticipated this month. Pence Park reconstruction includes a multi-purpose turf field, also 4 pickleball courts, playground, restrooms, a multi-purpose room, and a walking path. We're anticipating start of design of May of this month. Going to Centennial Park Turf Project. It involves replacement of landscaping and installation of turf. Anticipated notice to proceed for design is this month, so a lot of things happening this month. Going to the Oyer Park Marine Complex. It involves a new marine complex for fire and police department. It is to support new marine operations. Also will include a 1-bay fire for a fire truck. It's in the planning phase with anticipated start design this month and start construction January 2026. JC Park Master Plan, new play structure project involves master plan of the park, including replacement of the play structure. In a prior slide, you saw where we had demoed the play structure. So this will replace that. Also, we'll have a new open green lawn area. Expansion of the parking lot. It's in the planning stage with anticipated design start this month. Lawrence Road beautification, improved landscaping as part of this project in islands. Add irrigation is part of it as well, and to improve traffic flow patterns is part of the project. Anticipated design start is June of this year. Then Sandcastle involves upgraded drainage, utilities, and roadway improvements. There is a FCOM grant in the amount of $16.5 million for this project, so a pretty large grant. It's in the planning. Currently advertising for design RFQ with a construction budget of $17.6 million. And those dates that I show there are delayed by about a month or so based on, we extended the RFQ advertisement time duration to get more proposers on the project. New Fire Station 3 is just that. Project consists of design and construction of a new Fire Station 3. It is to be a design-build project. I don't know if that's our first design-build project, potentially. I could there were some more, okay. In the planning stage currently with advertisement for RFQ design anticipated August 2025. And we're ready to take any questions.
Thank you. I do have a question with regard to the paving in Gulfview Harbor. We had a town hall meeting earlier this year, and we told the residents that this would be done before June of this year. We're in May now, and I didn't see that presentation today.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, I'm Kevin Ramsey, Public Works Director. I was at that town hall meeting. I don't remember June. I remember saying we're going to get these jobs together and try to get them done by October 1 of this year, but I'm not quite sure. I know right now we are going, we have Chapel Hill Design that's going out to bid, and we're going up to MLK, Gulfview Harbor, and then we go to Meadows. That's the order that we're going in because we had started doing exhibits beforehand, and that's where we were. So we have full intention of doing them, but this is the way we had the quickest way we could start paving. So that's where we're at. So I don't remember June, but I know that we're going to get those 4 areas. That's what we said we do.
Okay. We did specifically tell people between April, and we said it would be done by June. And I think many of us were there at that town hall in Gulfview Harbor. And it's something that was approved again in July of 2023 unanimously. Can we get a final date? Like when is this gonna happen?
If we get through the designs, I'll give you the dates that we're going to go to the year. Like that's the order we're doing it, only because we had started our designs beforehand. So I'll get you the dates and we're going to hit Gulfview Harbor.
Kevin, going
Yes.
forward, let's make whatever plan we have as far as paving goes. Let's just send an email to the respective commissioners. That way we have something memorialized.
Sure, okay.
And we don't get into the back and forth of like the dates. But Gulfview Harbor is on the docket to be paved
Oh,
before
absolutely.
October 1st, correct? Okay.
Happening. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, it's all yours.
Any other questions?
Yes. Well, first of all, it's not really a CIP question, but had there been a study made about chips on the playground versus the rubble, they made from tiles, in terms of injuries? Some people have mentioned that to me, that parks with chips on it have a tendency to cause more injury than the rubble. Has there been any kind of study on that you know of?
I'm not aware of a study. I'm sure that there's one out there, I would imagine, but I haven't taken a look at any of them.
Okay, why you watching
Should
basketball?
though, yeah.
Yeah, I just told him there wasn't, but
Okay.
what do I know?
Yeah.
The park down on the end of 12th and Railroad, what's the name of that?
Palmetto?
Palmetto? Is that on the plan in terms of that's either clean it up, light it up, or do something? Is that on the
Current CIP has some renovations. It has some improvements to the park. It's a kind of a small amount, though, of $20,000, so it's not anything major at this point in time.
It is a problem. You're gonna say something?
I think we're aware of that.
I just wanted to mention that we had previously had put some lights in that park, so I'd have to go check to make sure that if they're still working or they haven't been damaged. But I know that in speaking with the police department, there's been a tremendous cleanup in that park. They've seen a lot of the legal activity has decreased there. We're not seeing those kind of problems that we've had there. This is a park that we really would like to bring forward to talk about whether or not we want to keep it as a park or potentially move that park to another location. Maybe putting it out onto the boulevard to provide a more centralized park, more visible park. Some of the problems that we have this park being that it's in the back, away from the view, some things happen there. So there's been some discussion there. We do anticipate bringing back a discussion item in the future about this park and what to do with it, whether we want to surplus it, potentially put housing there that would complete that community, or move the park, or invest and make it an attraction. So there's definitely a couple different angles there. We will be bringing back a discussion item in the future.
Because of the location, it attracts misbehavior. It's hidden back in the hole there.
That's a nice way of putting it.
The bridge, the railroad tracks, it's, yes, it's in the canal is definitely a trifecta of an area where people loiter and potentially homeless and things are happening, yes.
Okay, just don't forget about it.
I mean, and here's the other thing we can think about, that park is in a CRA district, and we are a entitlement city, so we could also think about using CDBG dollars. I know I've talked to Tommy Isabella, he's in the audience. He's offered quite a few suggestions even to volunteer. I know he was appointed to CRA board, so there's some different strategies that we can look at as far as funding. And if we do want to relocate that park, that could also be some property for maybe Habitat for Humanity, so we can actually give back to the community in that way. So there's quite a few alternatives that we can use. So.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Kelly?
That's all I have.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you for the presentation on this, the CIP project updates. I think it's important that we have these regular updates just to know where we are. I thought, though, so kind of on the same subject of paving, but we had a presentation a couple meetings ago updating us on the plans for paving. Kevin, do you mind coming up real quick? I just want to because we talked, I know you were pretty specific about all of the paving projects and putting them in order. Meadows, I know what is, and I'm not going to drill you about dates because I know it's in your plan, but that's the order that you just said it is the order that you're planning on doing it, and that's because that's what makes sense for your department, is that correct?
We can start putting out these projects quicker because we already started the design on these projects prior to getting the okay to even spend the additional money. Okay, because we're getting ready for next year, we thought. So that's where we were. So what's your question? Our job in Meadows is to complete every outlaid neighborhood in the Meadows, so it's complete, so we can start putting it onto a rotational maintenance program.
Right, so you're hoping by the end of the year you'll have a plan in place before then?
We're planning to pave it all by October 1.
Okay.
It's not that big of a problem.
Okay, and so what, and I know I've spoken to staff when I had my meeting this last week in preparation of budget and CIP and all that fun stuff. What is the plan moving forward? Are we just, after these paving projects are finished, we're just kind of going to hang tight and wait to see what is happening with the county as far as the transportation?
That is the direction we'd like to take.
Sales, surtax, and things like that?
CIP is getting tight, and if we have an opportunity for dollars coming in from the state, then we should probably wait, you know. We have identified all these different areas that we can do, that it's not in conflict with utilities, but they're like C roads or a high D, so we can manage another couple of years without a heavy paving.
Right, so I want, I mean, we have these paving projects that have been allocated and that we're talking about and, that are a priority. But if we can put things off for a little bit of time on roads that are in better condition, because we know that, I don't want to spend the money now, and then the county has got this pocket of money, and then it can only be used for roads, and here we've paved all of our roads, and they all look really pretty, but now we have funding that could come from the county, and we have no use for it. So I just want to be mindful of that moving forward, that we're being mindful of pushing paving projects and keeping up to date on what's happening with the county, so that we're not paying for stuff out of, that could be reserved and put off a little bit longer, so.
Projects that we selected was to complete a Gulfview Harbor,
Right.
Anna Meadows, and another portion for Chapel Hills to get down to just the areas, so we could have a complete schedule for future maintenance of these roads in a timely manner, so we don't have what we have right now, or had. So that was a thought process, but I understand what you're saying too. But if we decide to delay some, let me know what you want to delay. But for now, we're doing the 4 that
Well, I know we allocated these and we kind of set them aside, but I'm just saying, moving forward, let's make sure that we're cognizant of what the status is with the county when we're making these decisions and bringing them forward so that we can make, decisions. Thank you. Thank you both.
Rick, either one of you, you were talking about putting turf in the amphitheater.
Correct.
Okay. Gabby and her group and the city as a whole really put on a lot of great activities there, and that's good. I'd like to have even more, but the type of turf we putting in, will it take the beating that's gonna happen there? Can you give me a little assurance on that?
Yeah, the project that we're bringing forward with the artificial turf will take the beating. Right now, you'll see some orange fence going up there. We're going to do a temporary fix to last us until the design is done, and we can procure this project next year, so we can have these great events. So this area at Centennial is going to be shut down right now from, today until July 7th. And then the events will come back. I think the first one is CRA, and then Gabby's at it again with all her goods, So, yes, I think it will. We've been down, we visited this type of turf that we're going to put in there, and where was it? What stadium that we were at, Andrew? It was, yeah.
Is it,
It was the soccer stadium in Fort Lauderdale, the Chase Stadium for Inter Miami.
Down for 5 years at the time we saw it, so.
I did get some people that have made some complaints. They are in wheelchairs, and so they're only able to, when we do set up the vendor stuff, they're only able to access the west side of the vendor stand. So maybe that's something to take into consideration, that it's easier for people that are in wheelchairs to be able to maneuver through that, because I think it was like 2 or 3 events ago, my phone started ringing on that.
Turf will allow them to do that.
Yes.
The turf, you can-
Yes.
Absolutely, it's new, yeah, it's great stuff.
Yeah, synthetic turf will take care of that
That
problem.
makes me happy.
So,
Go ahead.
sorry, before we change gears on turf, but in the meantime, I know I had a conversation with you, Kevin, about this. So we're gonna do grass, because right now it's dirt. Unfortunately, it's just not holding up. So in the meantime, while we're doing all this, and the anticipated, can you just walk us through some, for the public, what the plan is? Because my understanding is the amphitheater area will be closed over the next 2 months. In order to do that, can you just briefly talk about the plan for
So
that?
right now, yes, I will. Right now, we're putting in header curbs, so when the artificial turf does come in, they'll have a nailer to go to. That's how it works. But we're bordering the site with that. We're adding a couple of new sidewalks in between the banyan trees, not hurting the trees. That's gonna help us with more access with ADA and keeping people off of the plants that they're always smashing them during our events, right? Then we're gonna bring in sod. You'll see, right now we're doing irrigation. We're adding some irrigation to have full coverage. And then our in-house staff, we'll have a contractor lay the sod, and then our in-house staff is going to maintain that sod and bring it up. We'll be releasing ABM from all their outside grounds maintenance, because we believe that we can do a better job. We know we can. And it'll be fenced off for 2 months, and it'll be sewed together, and then we'll open it up, and we'll maybe have to start treating it like a dog park. Maybe after a big event, shut it down for 3 or 4 days, and then give it time to come back. But it's worth a shot, all right? We've had 2 different types of sod in there right now, so we're gonna try this sod and see what happens with it. That's the plan.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Okay. Moving on to G, city attorney request for shade meetings.
Thank you,
Attorney
Rick.
Lamb,
Thank you, Kevin.
If you would go ahead with your request.
Yes, pursuant to Florida statute, section 286.011, section 8, I'm requesting 2 separate shade meetings. The first one is with regard to the E2L litigation versus City of Boynton Beach. Our counsel for that is actually Catherine Rossmel, and she has requested a shade meeting. I am requesting also the shade meeting with regard to Mark Sohn versus the city of Boynton Beach. And both of these are kind of urgent. So with regard to the request, we could do it one of two ways. I could do one before the CRA meeting on May 13th, and I would prefer to put the Mark Sohn one there. Or we could do them both at the same time before the CRA meeting, well, one and then the other. Or we could, as I said, we can do one on the 13th and then one on the 20th to split them up. It just depends on what the commission desires with regard to that.
Fine with
Do
doing
you
both.
anticipate those meetings being long? I know it's up to us, but maybe 30 minutes apiece?
I would say 30 minutes, but you know lawyers like to talk. So,
No.
and on both of those cases, I am not primary counsel, so we will have an outside lawyer. So I would give it a little bit more time, like 45 minutes each.
Then I would suggest we do one at a time, one on the 13th and one on the 20th.
Okay.
I agree.
We can do that then. So we'll notice the Mark Sohn one for May 13th, and the city will hire a court reporter, and then we'll set the other one for May 20th. In the event that Catherine has a conflict on the 20th, I was able to confirm with the attorneys for Sohn, they are not available on the 20th. That's why we have to do the 13th. But if she has a conflict, I will come back to the commission to get an alternate date. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, for the future agenda items, I definitely would like to add, starting to revamp our website and make it more user-friendly. I do hear from senior citizens often. We know this is very challenging. We've heard about our online platforms tonight, so I would like to get something like that pending. And then also, I know Commissioner Kelly brought up the animal control position. I'd like to see if we can move that up. I'm getting some requests from the neighborhood on that too.
Okay, I'm sorry, I have some information on that. I am meeting with our current Liz, our current animal control officer, and our meeting is actually set for June because we do need to make some ordinance changes on that. And so we'll be working with her. Because it does require 2 readings and the amount of changes, I thought it would be better after the legislative break.
Great.
So I don't know if that affects Commissioner Kelly's request.
No, it dropped off, or no, it's on J, so that's fine. We can just, it says it, I mean, it's scheduled to be heard during budget workshop.
Yeah,
but
it'd
there's
probably be July.
Right, so,
good.
but because there's ordinance changes that need to be made, that it'll have to be at a commission meeting, so
Commissioner
that's
Kelly?
fine.
We just went through our first round of budget meetings, so that is going to be included in your guys' budget books. We want to push out the budget books this year, the first week of June. I want to say our budget work, second week of June, my mistake. And that's going to give you guys probably about 3 weeks before our first budget workshop, July 7th. So we'll be able to, quite a bit of a review in there. And I know I've already asked specific questions, and as far as what kind of advertisement are we doing to let the public know that we do have an animal control specialist in the city now, and that was also addressed, so.
Excellent.
Great, thank you. Mayor, real quick, so on your end, we did get an email, which was mentioned during public comment with regard to the online platform. I had sent that on to city staff and suggested that maybe, in addition to looking, your suggestions, coming up with tutorials and having IT, maybe have, some, I know a lot of this came up in one of the community meetings, so I think we need to look at how we can be a little bit more proactive, just like when we are notifying the residents of certain things that are coming up. We have to realize that not everyone is as computer savvy as the rest of us or as some of us. And so I just want to, Joe, just for the record and for my colleagues, because we, can't share emails, but that was something that I had suggested, is that we maybe come up with some tutorials. They're right on the main page of the website. If you want to make public comment, this is what you do, and somebody needs to walk them through. And then, and to have somebody more available for residents when they're logged on and they're having issues. encouraging them to log on earlier so that they can troubleshoot and reach out to staff and really have somebody accessible. Because, the last thing we want to do is to make people feel like their voice is not important and that they're not heard. And obviously if something happens, they can always, reach out and put their words on the record, but we want to make sure that during public comment, everyone is heard. So I'm all for putting that on future agenda that we continue and have more of that discussion.
Yes, because I have a lot of questions about the website. And then when it comes to any final comments, the one thing I would like to ask of the other commissioners is if you could please respond to your constituents. I have many, many emails that I'm told that some of the commissioners aren't responding to their constituents. And, I am, and I'm jumping in as the mayor, and I'm responding to everyone that I can. But if you are getting emails and you are getting phone calls, please respond to your constituents. If it's something that you can't do, maybe ask a city staff person to help. But I am getting multiple emails and calls that we need to be better with our response time as commissioners. And I also think that it goes along with the customer service that we need to provide to constituents. So I think it all goes hand in hand. So if we can just get better at that, I think that would be great for the citizens. Anybody else have any comments?
No, thank you.
Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So move.
Second.
Motion was made by Vice Mayor Kelly and seconded by, Vice Mayor Hay and seconded by Commissioner Kelly. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. With no further business to discuss, the meeting is adjourned at 7:31 p.m.
It's a
All right,
record.
all